Welcome, everybody. Today is April 30th, and it's been a little bit since we had our last community meeting. We had canceled last meeting because there was the Open Source Summit North America and SOSS Community Days, which we'll talk a little bit about later, but I think it was a really nice event. It was great to get to meet some of y'all in person. It was great to get to interact with the community. So yeah, as always, we'll go through the agenda, and if anybody has anything else they want to talk about, feel free to add it to the any other business section. We haven't had a lot of changes in Recore and Folcio as of late that have needed a new release yet. There will be some coming into Recore soon, where we'll cut a new release. For Cosign, one thing I just wanted to mention, and I'm wearing my maintainer hat now for Cosign. I know there's a lot of open PRs. This is something that I'm hoping to work through very, very soon to start burning through that queue. So if anybody has open PRs, I am aware of them. We'll try burning through that list. And I'd encourage anyone to feel free to review anything that's open. There's some that are smaller, some that are a bit larger, I think, that just require a little more time to go through it. We've also had a lot of conversations too about Cosign from the context of Sigstore Go and how we eventually want to integrate Sigstore Go into Cosign. I think that'll start shaping what a next major release of Cosign will look like, particularly from the user interface. So hopefully we'll have a doc very soon to talk more about that. On the client side, the main thing I wanted to mention is that in Sigstore Go, we're starting to have some conversations around what the API should look like for signing, which is very exciting. So for those who previously integrated with Cosign to be able to sign, hopefully soon we'll have an API up where you can start experimenting with Sigstore Go, which will massively decrease the number of dependencies required to do signing, since Cosign pulled in so many, primarily around the container signing and the KMS libraries. We're talking a little bit about how to make sure we continue to support KMS. It'll probably be through a plugin interface of sorts. And then for container signing, there's already an example in Sigstore Go of this, but there's also a recent, I can link to it, a recent specification that just went through in Cosign to use the OCI manifest 1.1 and have used the refers API to upload the Sigstore bundle formats to OCI registries. And I'll leave a link to that if you'd like to take a look. From the client side, was there anything else anyone wanted to chat about? Alrighty. Infrastructure. Bob, since you're here, did you want to mention anything about some of the work that we're doing in staging now?
Yeah, we're staging and prod have been running on MySQL 5.7, and if you're not keeping up to date with all of your end-of-life notices, MySQL 5.7 is going end of life at the end of this calendar year. So as part of preparing for that, we upgraded the backing database for our staging environment to MySQL 8. We've seen some particular SQL queries that get run have increased latency, and we're actively trying to resolve how best to address that problem. There's some fixes in upstream Trillian that the Trillian maintainers believe are the right course of action, although that is a destructive operation to do in place and has some risk to it, or spinning up a new shard would also solve that for the new workload going forward, but we would still have to come back and figure out how to deal with the old shards as well. So we also have a support case open with Google Cloud to see if there's some other infrastructure issue or some configuration issue that we're not aware of that needs to be resolved. So it's staging. We do recognize that some projects within Sigstore use the staging system as load-bearing for their CI frameworks. So we've been in touch with the Python and Java client SDK teams on that. But at the moment, it's still kind of in the throes of being actively worked. So I don't really have an update in terms of when we hope to close it out. But it's a priority for us to get this done and have a good resolution to this relatively soon.
Awesome. Thanks for the update, Bob.
Yep.
Paul, was there anything else you wanted to touch on for infrastructure?
Nope. I think Bob's here, so I was going to mention that one, but otherwise, no, that's what I know of.
Sounds good. For docs, the one thing I'll mention, because I did see this come up in chat a couple weeks ago, this time around, Sigstore is not participating in the Google season of docs. So the list went out, I believe, a couple weeks ago. And yeah, Sigstore is not participating this year. Cool. Any other project updates anybody want to give? Alrighty. Outreach and events. We don't have any new events coming up anytime soon. I think the next meetup will be around Cloud Native Security Con. That's in June. I don't know if the talks are posted yet, but once they are, for open source summits and SOSS community days, there were a number of talks about Sigstore and related projects. It was great. Again, it was great to get to meet everybody in person. For SOSS community days, there were 3 Sigstore talks. There was one giving an overview of Sigstore's roadmap, one discussing the operation of a private Sigstore instance, and another around adoption of Sigstore and Salsa in the context of Homebrew. At Open Source Summit, I believe I left some links previously, but I'll try to remember which ones. There was one framework called GitTough, which is leveraging the update framework, which we use within Sigstore for shipping our roots of trust, for doing roughly policy management for a number of Git security features, including Git signatures, which is using the Git sign project, which was built on top of Sigstore. But yeah, when those come out, we'll link to those here, and we'll post a few also on our YouTube channel. Awesome. Well, now we come to the last section, which is any other business. Was there anything anyone wanted to chat about? Alrighty, cool. Well, as always, hope everybody has a great few weeks. We'll chat again soon.
Thanks, Sean.